Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Harpie deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one because Savannah's favorite deck is Harpies. So I'm kind of doing this one for her. It is a part of my top 30 favorite deck profiles of all time, and the reason I love this deck so much is it's kind of the deck that I helped her learn play Yu-Gi-Oh! So this deck has a special place in my heart because of that. So let's get straight on this, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become a part of Notification Squad, and let's get straight on into this. And we have awesome new cards like Harpie Conductor that we can play around with. So, first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Harpie Channeler. Harpie Channeler is probably the best Harpie out of them all. Basically, you discard a Harpie card from your hand, and then you get to special summon a Harpie monster from your deck and face a defense position. And it also has the ability that if you control a Dragon-type monster, it goes up to level 7, which can make rank 7 plays pretty easy. Then we play 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer. Harpie Perfumer is one of the newer Harpie monsters that came out in the Sisters of the Rose pack. Its name becomes Harpie Lady while in the field or in the grave, and if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters on the text. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, which is going to be our pet dragon, because we just play pet dragon, we don't play Lady Sisters in here. I dropped Lady Sisters because I felt like she was a little bit of a brick. I know that pet dragon is, but I didn't want to play both. And it felt like I just summoned her just to get these extra boosts off, and that kind of sucked. I really wish that they do a retrained version of Harpie Lady Sisters so we could actually have like a good viable option to go along with Perfumer to make this deck really, really good. But it also lets you add 2 if you have a monster's level 5 or higher that's a Harpie monster. Then we play 3 copies of Harpie Harpist. Harpie Harpist is basically if it's sent to the graveyard, during the end phase you get to add a level 4 Wing Beast type monster from your deck to your hand that has 1500 or less attack. Also, it has the effect of when it's normal summon, you can target a Wing Beast monster you control and one face-up monster your opponent controls and return them to the hand, which is a really awesome effect to be able to bounce stuff right off the field. 2 copies of Harpie Queen. So this is something that I've done that might be a little bit controversial, but I've dropped Harpie Queen down to 2 in my build because I don't feel like you need the field spell as much. I don't feel like you need the field spell as much because basically what you're doing is you're trying to get Harpie's Feather Storm and you're trying to get them to have big boosts and be able to just go after your opponent with Link plays and XYZ plays and stuff like that and just win the game. You can pop back row and you get it when you need it, but you don't always need the field spell. And I wanted to make a little bit more room for some other stuff, so I did drop Queen down to 2. Now you can play Queen down at 3, but at the same time, she is just a really good 2 to 3 of. It just depends on the build you're playing. Then I played 2 copies of Harpie Lady 1. I bumped Harpie Lady 1 from 1 to 2. I feel like she's a good 2 of in the build because she makes all wind monsters gain 3 in attack, and she's just a generic. She's always treated as Harpie Lady, which is extremely important for the deck. Then I play 1 copy of Harpie Oracle. So this is something that I was thinking about dropping altogether, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Basically what she does is, if she counts as Harpie Lady while filling the grave, and she says, if you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can special summon her, and if she's normal or summoned or special summoned, you get to add a spell or trap from your graveyard that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters. The reason I couldn't bring myself to drop her is because she's really good late game. Because all you have to do is normal summon her, and if you have Elegant Egotist in the graveyard, you can add your Elegant Egotist back from your graveyard to your hand, activate it, and then special summon a Harpie Lady from your hand or deck to get an XYZ or a Link play off just off of the 1 Oracle, just because of her. And so I feel like she's a good 1 of in the build that doesn't play Sisters. When you do play Sisters, she can be a 2 or a 3 of. Probably more of a 2 of. But for the moment, I feel like 1 Harpie Oracle is plenty in my build. And I really love the way I have the camera set up where you can just see her very, very vaguely. You just see the 1 eye sticking out. I think that's awesome. Definitely give us a like for that. That was actually not even intentional. That was just accidental. And it works out. 1 copy of Harpie Dancer. Harpie Dancer is just I really think a good 1 of in the build as well. Basically, you can return her to your hand to normal summon another Wing Beast monster. So you can use her to kind of bait your opponent to see if they're going to get rid of your combo piece. And she also helps you with the field spell, Harpie's Hunting Ground, to be able to pop back row and get 2 back row pops instead of 1. Then we play 1 copy of Harpie's Pet Dragon. Harpie's Pet Dragon is here basically to go into our rank 7 plays with your Harpie Channeler. Then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 2 copies of Effect Veiler for our hand traps, and that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells, guys. So for the monsters, you kind of just need a bunch of Harpie ladies. You could play, like I said, you could play another queen. If you don't feel like you need the Harpie Oracle, play something like a Cyber Harpie Lady or something like that. I really kind of wanted to put Cyber Harpie Lady in here, but she's just a vanilla. I've been just waiting to drop her out of the build because she's just a vanilla with 1800. So then we play 3 copies of Called by the Grave because you just want to stop your opponent from hitting you with those hand traps. 1 copy of Monster Reborn because it brings back your Harpies and your Pet Dragon to be able to get into more rank 7 plays if you need to. I actually am doing something a little crazy in my build and playing 2 copies of Elegant Egotist because of the Harpie Perfumer, and it makes it a little easier to go into our Harpie Conductor, being able to have multiple copies of Egotist. I almost thought about bumping this card up to 3 because I want to see it so often, because you can just activate this with any Harpie on your field and bring out another Harpie and be able to just go for more plays. Now, granted, you can normally just get the Harpie Lady 1. That's the main one you're going to be summoning off of this. But at the same time, you're going to be able to get it out to go into a link play, and you want to see this card quickly. So then we play 2 copies of Harpie's Hunting Ground. Harpie's Hunting Ground is super good. It lets you, all your Winged Beast monsters gain 200 attack, and then when a Harpie is normal or special summoned, it pops a back row. But it's mandatory, so you have to either pop this or pop one of your opponent's back row. Then I play 1 copy of Double or Nothing, because you guys know I'm Double or Nothing Duelist, aka DarkArmedDuelist. But I always play this in rank 4 decks because it's just that good. This card is stupid good to be able to make a 10,000 attack point card, and Harpie ladies really struggle with making big boards. So I wanted to play this to be able to OTK my opponent really fast with, Utopia Double. Then I play 2 copies of Alluring Mirror Split. Alluring Mirror Split is really good, but it's searchable with Harpie Perfumer, so we only play it as a 2 of. Basically, when a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady sisters you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon a Harpie monster from your deck with a different original name than the destroyed one, but you can only use it once per turn. It's really good, and I really like that effect. It's super good to be able to just keep refilling your board. It's an ode to Mirror Wall, because my Valentine played Mirror Wall back in the original series, and so that's kind of an ode to that. And then for the last 3 spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Hysteric Sign. Hysteric Sign is really good in the deck because when you activate it, you either get to add Elegant Egotist, which is like playing 5 copies of Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And during the end phase, if this card is destroyed, you get to target 3 Harpie monsters with different names in your deck and add them to your hand, so it just replenishes your hand. But I feel like it's definitely going to always be a 3 of, but you can get into your copies of your Harpie's Hunting Ground so easily that I'm not so concerned about getting this and then this. We have other options in the build now that is not your only play. You have other ways to get to it and get to other cards that are going to benefit you more. Now, it is one of the best searchers in all of the game because it adds 3 from your deck to your hand, and that's just crazy, but it's either or with the Elegant Egotist or this, and we usually just need 2 Harpies to go into this or a link play. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. We have one of the most powerful traps in the whole game in here, and that is 3 copies of Harpie's Feather Storm. So Harpie's Feather Storm is absolutely nuts in this game because basically if you control a Winged Beast monster until the end phase of the turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates, and if you control a Harpie monster, you can activate this card from your hand, and if this card is in its spell and trap card zone and is destroyed, you can add a Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck to your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is why I really wish that they would put Harpie's Feather Duster at 1. I don't feel like it would change the game too much, but it would definitely be a 1 of in this deck, just because it's a Harpie monster, or Harpie card, and it destroys all the back row and it's searchable if this card gets destroyed. But this card is absolutely crazy, and you have to play this at 3. Then we play 2 copies of Hysteric Party. I thought about bumping this to 3, but it's just a good 2 of because you don't want to get an early game. Activate this card by discarding a card, and then special summon as many Harpies from the graveyard. It's kind of like a face-down Soul Charge, like a trap version of Soul Charge, or a massive Call of the Haunted. This card is so busted, but you just really need like 1 copy or 2 copies of it. But the really funny thing about this whole card artwork is that it summons, they're summoning all these Harpie ladies, but you can only play 1 of each. Like, you can't play 2 3s, 2 2s, or 2 1s. You can only play 2 of each. But I know this is an ode to when she was in the Orichalcos, and she did play all of them and had Harpie Lady Sisters and Harpie Lady 1, 2, 3 in her deck as well. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I was kind of tight on the extra deck of what I was going to play, but I'm playing 2 Harpie Conductors. I feel like 2 is plenty in the extra deck. It takes 2 wind monsters, which is extremely easy in this deck to do. And when this card, while on the field in the graveyard, it counts as Harpie Lady. And if a Harpie monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy a spell or trap card you control instead. That's why I'm not really that concerned about getting the Hunting Ground as much, because you can pop Sign with this really easily. And it also has the effect of, if another face-up Harpie monster is returned to your hand, you can special summon one monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. You can just target an opponent's monster and bounce it to the hand that was special summoned. So that's another really good thing with Dancer. I really thought about bumping Dancer to 2 with this card, but I'm kind of iffy on that. So then we play a Great Fly. Great Fly is good to boost up your Harpie monsters, and that's the only reason I play it as a 1 of. I'm thinking about bumping it to 2, but the extra deck is so tight, I don't know what to drop. 1 copy of High Speed Roid Rubber Band Shooter. Basically, this just gives us an additional normal summon for a wind monster. And then when the Wind Charmer Verdant, I play as a 1 of as well. Takes 2 wind monsters and has the ability that it's always treated as familiar possessor, and you can target 1 wind monster your opponent's graveyard and special summon it. But the really cool effect of is when this card in its monster, while in its owner's monster zone, you can add a wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand if it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect or destroyed by battle. So you make this as like a first turn play, and you just dare your opponent to kill it. So you can search your what's it called? Channeler, if you didn't draw Channeler. And then we play a Boil Sword as well for our last Link monster to round that out. Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon I play as a 1 of in this build because I want to play 2. I really want to play 2. But once you get the first one, you're going to win. Like, it's not needed. The second one is not needed, in my opinion, because I really want to play Ice Beast Xeraphine. Ice Beast Xeraphine is skill drain and 300 boost for each face-up card on the field. This card is nuts. You're going to burn your opponent out with Harpie's Pet Phantasmal by 6,000 if they don't handle it. If they do handle it, you make Ice Beast and you hit him in the face with Ice Beast. Or you make Utopia and you hit him with Utopia. So that's why I dropped it down to 1, is because I feel like I'm going to make either this or Utopia, depending on what I want to do and how fast I want to get rid of my opponent. So then I play a Flare Metal as well. Flare Metal is for the rank 7 plays. Mega Phantom Beast Dracosack is really good for Link plays because you can summon this under a Link monster, get 2 tokens, and then make another 2 Link monster, and then link this and the 2 Link monsters that you had into Boil Sword because it requires 3 effect monsters. Even though you're going for a Link rating of 5, you can make Boil Sword and OTK your opponent. Then we play the Utopia package, which the Utopia package is 2 Utopias. You're going to play 2 copies of number 39 Utopia, 1 copy of Utopia Double for the Double or Nothing, 1 copy of S Utopia Prime for the Lightning and Lightning. So basically, you're going to summon these all the time in this deck. This deck is solely reliant around making either Conductor or making Utopia the Lightning or Utopia Double to OTK your opponent. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a super, super fun deck. I highly recommend it. It's a little on the expensive side because of some of the cards in the deck, but it is super fun. I think just in the Harpie Perfumers, they're like 25 a piece or something like that, 15 to 25 a piece. I don't know how much they are now. I paid 15 a piece for mine because they were short prints, and the pack did not go over well, so they're not even printing the pack anymore that they came out of. It was a very, very short amount of Sisters of the Rose that they printed, and it didn't go over well, so they skyrocketed in price. So anyways, guys, and it was short print too. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. I really enjoyed doing this deck profile for you and for Savannah. And definitely hit that like button down there and hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers, guys. I am so excited to say that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.